What's up, Sabercats? I'm Riley.
And I'm Melissa. This year in CVTV, we're celebrating amazing seniors who have made a huge impact on our program. We wanted to take a moment to highlight everything they've accomplished.
Landon and Tegan sat down with our seniors to get some advice for the CVTV students to come.
In every graduating class, seniors always make an impact. In CVTV, these are Blake and Gage.
Hi there, my name is Blake Goodwin. I am a senior. I've been a part of CVTV for 3 years.
Hi, my name is Gage. I'm a producer and editor here at CVTV.
Blake and Gage have made tremendous impacts on CVTV and the program as a whole. So let's take a look at some of the marks they've left.
Oh, wow. I mean, when you talk about the group that we had, they made a tremendous impact. And I'll tell you, I can speak to a couple of them. You know, it was nice to have the group with us this year. But there was two guys I think that really stood out, of course, Blake and Gage. It was cool to see Blake. You know, Blake quit for a year and didn't want to do this anymore. And then I was lucky enough, I think he came in, he's like, okay, I'm going to try it with Martin again. And, you know, he's going to end up winning a couple of awards for us, for himself. And he's just a stalwart, a mainstay. You always know what you're going to get from Blake Goodwin, which is awesome.
Yeah, so I won a few awards this year. I got some second places doing Lego segments, go-kart segments where kids build their own go-karts, a famous YouTube channel, building Legos. I also did the volleyball team, which got first place. It's just a great experience. I think the main key to winning that was honestly just going into asking random people, since each person has their own story, and really asking about that, you can learn so much more. Since everyone's unique and takes their own path, and I just love to illuminate that and tell everyone's story to the world.
And then Gage, I'll get a little bit of emotional. I've known Gage since he was a 7th grader. He's a little dude, and he came into my class, and we hit it off in an English class, and then I just kept in contact. We kept talking in the halls at the middle school, and then when I graduated here, he didn't do CVTV either to start, which was it's total misjustice because he's so good at this. And to have him come in and just blossom into a leader and a creative influencer for us, it was just outstanding to see. As a teacher, you get these kids, in my case, 7th grade, and then now you see them as seniors and they're almost adults, and it's just cool to see where he came from and how he's leaving this place better than when he found it.
About the actual function of a class.
Yeah, so the way that we ran things this year, I feel like it was kind of actually pretty successful. I know that this year we won 3rd place in our CSMA awards, which is a pretty good feat, honestly, because last year the seniors had more time to work on it, but this year we were kind of just shoved into it. So I feel like this year that we won 3rd place, it was really good. It shows the structure was decent enough to win us an award. I'll be honest, working with Martin is sometimes difficult, but you guys, if you ever take this class, you just have to remember that everyone's human. Everyone has things going on. So you're going to have bad days. He's going to have bad days. Whoever's teaching this class in the future is going to have bad days. So honestly, the structure just comes down to you and what you want to make the class to be.
Thank you, Blake and Gage, for everything you have done for CVTV. Landon Churchwell, signing out.
Good luck to all of our CVTV seniors. We're so proud of everything you've done.
We're really going to miss you, and we can't wait to see what you will do next.
Just a couple of weeks ago, Canvas went down and affected students worldwide, including us at CV.
Alyssa, Noah, Peyton, and I share more about the events that took place. On May 7th this year, Canvas was hacked. This affected many students from colleges and high schools across the United States, and DCSD was sadly part of it. Hacker group Shiny Hunters affected almost 9,000 schools and stole 3.6 terabytes of student and teacher data. This was most problematic for college students who were in the middle of their finals week, ready to submit their finals until they were locked out. Shiny Hunters held the website hostage until the company that owns Canvas temporarily took the website down. Today, we asked students how the Canvas shutdown affected their schoolwork.
It hasn't. I thought it was fun. I was really hoping it would continue to be down so I didn't have to do school today, but it didn't, so.
I guess maybe it relieves the stress of some students during finals weeks. I'm sure they have a lot of assignments, and Canvas being shut down limits the amount that they have to work on at the time. And the bad is that it is finals week, so there's a lot that has to be done, and now that there's less time to do it with Canvas getting shut down.
I'm not mad about it. I think it's funny. I hope no one's actual personal data got stolen and they're in trouble, but I thought it was pretty funny, so.
I think it's really funny because it happened right at the end of school, and the hackers are like asking for a lot of money, but they're like asking it from schools who are notorious for not having a lot of money.
Luckily, Canvas was only down for about 7 to 10 hours for most people. That allowed people to get back to finishing their finals and continue their schoolwork. I'm Riley Henderson, reporting for CVTV. That's crazy that CV was affected in this national issue.
Most people have probably heard about the virus outbreak coming from the cruise ship.
And most of us are wondering if we'll have to live through yet another pandemic.
Gabby went out to answer our questions.
Will we spend our next or last years of high school cooped up in our houses? With the recent outbreak of the coronavirus, most high schoolers are asking this very question.
I'm Dr. Katrina Coulter. I'm an infectious disease physician. I did a fellowship, a specialized training in infectious diseases. I treat patients in the hospital and in the clinic that have infectious diseases. A typical presentation would be somebody that kind of presents with flu-like symptoms. So they might have a headache, a fever, muscle aches, joint aches, just kind of generally not feel well. They might have vomiting or diarrhea. They might be short of breath. And then that progresses. So these people usually present to the hospital because they're not feeling well and they're not sure why. And then they very quickly decompensate or get worse with a lot of breathing problems.
This virus attacks the lungs, damaging the blood vessels and alveoli, causing the lungs to become inflamed and fill up with fluid and then make it very difficult to breathe until respiratory failure.
The incubation period is very long. So it's 1 to 8 weeks.
The hantavirus outbreak currently has been the cause of a specific type of the virus called the Andes virus, which is the only kind of hantavirus known to be contagious from person to person. But because the virus is found so deep in the lungs, like pneumonia, it takes very prolonged contact for the virus to actually infect someone else.
The little air sacs in your lungs, the alveoli, they're like bunches of grapes down where the capillaries kind of meet the lungs, and the capillaries trade off carbon dioxide and they pick up oxygen and then they take it around to your muscles. That is where the hantavirus infects. So it goes all the way down deep in the lungs to the alveoli, and then it causes those capillaries to become very leaky. And that's where all that fluid in the lungs comes from. But that is also the reason, as you mentioned, why it is difficult to spread it human to human.
So will there be another pandemic?
I think it's a very low likelihood in my professional opinion. And that's because people typically are not going to be able to infect another person until they have symptoms. When we look at viruses like COVID, and I know because of COVID, this causes a lot of anxiety in all of us, COVID could spread before people had symptoms. So usually about 2 days before you developed symptoms, you started infecting other people. So you might feel fine, but we're spreading the virus without knowing it. With the Andes version of the hantavirus, you're not spreading it until you have symptoms. And so we can watch people that we know have been exposed very closely. And then if they start to develop symptoms, very quickly lock them down and say, hey, we don't want you around other people. It's time to mask up.
So there's the answer to the dreaded question. No, another pandemic is not likely. Enjoy the rest of the school year, Sabercats. I'm Gabby Greenhall for CVTV.
It's now officially time for this week's current events.
Tom and Sully sit down to tell us about what's going on in the world right now.
What's up, Sabercats? I'm Tom.
And I'm Sully.
And this is this week's current events. Recently, a hot air balloon safely landed in a California backyard.
There was a group of 13 people on board the hot air balloon, and thankfully no one was hurt.
Emerging from the group was Spirit Airlines CEO Dave Davis, who decided to sneak on for one last flight.
Many Waymo self-driving cars have been vandalized and set on fire at ICE protests recently.
This is because since Elon and Trump's falling off, protesters say burning Teslas has gotten quite boring.
Last week, Secretary Marco Rubio met with the Pope in the Vatican City.
This is after the Pope specifically requested anybody but J.D. Vance. Recently, a new biopic of Michael Jackson's life named Michael hit theaters.
Critics across the country have shared that this was a very accurate representation of Michael Jackson's life and legacy.
President Trump even coming out to say that although this was a good representation of Michael Jackson's life, they seem to have left out the cool Michael. With the upcoming midterm elections, there's been much controversy, with many states redistricting their congressional maps.
This has allowed possible 2028 presidential nominee J.D. Vance and Gavin Newsom to stop the fighting and compromise on something they both love, coloring.
This week, a ship full of sick people with a disease called hantavirus finally made landfall after being stuck at sea for 33 days. After that long at sea, we should have sunk that ship.
Thankfully, we have the best doctors in the country on the job.
Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm Tom.
And I'm Sully.
And that was this week's
Current Events.
It's always good to know what's going on in the world.
And that was the last segment of our show.
If you want to see more, check out our Instagram at CV Student Media or our website at cvstudentmedia.com.
For the final time, have a great week, Sabercats.